Welcome to the Escape Pod. Thank you for escaping with us.
Emergency.
Yeah, we're doing an emergency escape pod. We have some big news. I just think we have to make an escape pod about it.
Basically, James Gunn came out, gave us a bunch of DC news. We've been waiting about it forever. People have their hopes. People have their doubts. You seem really excited about this, James Gunn man. Do you think James Gunn can reboot the DC universe properly?
Does this answer your question?
Oh my gosh. James Gunn. James Gunn. James Gunn. James Gunn. James Gunn. James Gunn. James Gunn.
Woo! Yeah! Let's go. Love you, James Gunn. This is exactly what I wanted to start my Wednesday with.
What a handsome man.
I picked the most handsome picture I could find.
I finally get to stare across at an attractive man.
That's rude.
Okay, so you know a lot more about this news than I do. So you're going to take the lead, kind of walk me through it. I'll give my reactions. We'll talk about it. So what's first?
You don't know too much of this news.
I know I saw the list, but I did not see the video of James Gunn explaining things. I didn't get anything in depth. So let's do it.
I've done all the research. I've watched all the Easter egg videos. I've seen all the comics that we're basing this on. I am ready for you. I got my notes right here. So first off, let's start with the first thing he talked about. In my opinion, the thing that I'm most excited for. New Superman movie coming in 2025.
Wonderful.
Superman Legacy.
Ooh.
He is, James Gunn is writing it.
Okay.
He might be directing it.
Okay.
I don't care. I'm just so excited. With him at the helm, I trust him completely. We're finally going to get a truly great Superman movie.
I think we already have.
You're a Christopher Reeve guy?
No, not exactly.
You a Superman Returns guy? That movie's so long and boring.
No, I actually haven't seen that.
So what Superman movie are you talking about?
Freaking Man of Steel.
Go f*** yourself. F*** you.
That's like the best.
You're a jackass.
It's the best movie of all time.
You're a jack. I hate you. I can't believe you just said that to me. For those of you at home that know, that's my least favorite movie of all time. He knows that. I can't believe you just said that to me.
Superman Legacy. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Superman.
All right, back on schedule. Right. The first thing coming out is Creature Commandos. They're like monsters. They're put together by Amanda Waller.
Of course.
It's going to be an animated series.
Oh.
Like they're monsters. Like their leader is the Bride of Frankenstein. Weasel from Suicide Squad is in there, so you get the vibes. And they fight Nazis.
Like back in the day, or are they fighting Kanye?
No, World War II.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so Superman. I think I heard something about Wonder Woman.
So no Wonder Woman. But
no Wonder Woman.
No Wonder Woman.
They're rebooting the DC universe without a Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Well, we're getting plenty of female characters. We're getting a Waller series. We're getting another series that I'll talk about later down the line.
I care so little.
We're talking about a movie later down the line. But no Wonder Woman, but we are getting like a prequel series to Themyscira, the island of women.
Yep.
It's been described as like a Game of Thrones style series. We're going to be explaining the politics, everything. I think it's actually really, really interesting. I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, it could be really cool. Themyscira, that's where like all the Amazonian, is it Amazonian women?
Themyscira, yeah.
Yeah. So they named the island full of women the Mascara.
Yes. We're getting a Booster Gold series on HBO Max as well.
Ah, yes. I know about him from Justice League Unlimited.
Oh, no kidding.
The anime, yeah, he's got the little robot that follows him around. Yeah. He does some time travel. Like, he's like the anti-Kang.
Correct, yes.
Kang, like, goes back because he has a huge ego and just, like, wants to conquer everything. And Booster Gold just is trying to, like, make himself look cool and not be a loser.
Exactly. He's like a janitor at a museum in his timeline.
So is he like? So he's like a loser.
Loser, yes.
And is he like tall and lanky and white? And does he have like blonde gold hair and maybe kind of look like a lesbian or?
You're describing me, and
it's no.
Hurting my feelings.
I think you could play a good.
I would love to be Booster Gold.
You could. Who would you cast?
I mean, now that you said it, like, it would be funny to see, like, a Michael Cera.
Yeah.
In the comics, he's, like, big and handsome, but Michael Cera would be funny. Yeah. Okay. How about you? Who would you cast?
Andrew Tate.
We have another Batman.
Yeah, I saw that. The Batman Part 2 with
yes,
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, no, but we, like, have a new Batman.
Or would they... We also have Joker 2 with Lady Gaga and all them. Are they adding a Batman into that?
No. Separate of those two, we're getting a Batman for the main universe.
So there's So they're keeping Joker, the Batman, and then they're also having a Batman for the main universe. 3 different Batmans, same time?
Yes, but you are acting like we aren't clamoring for them to do Spider-Man 4 in the MCU, begging Sony to do like a soft reboot of the Amazing Spider-Man 3 and make him, Andrew Garfield, the Spider-Man of the Venomverse, while simultaneously always begging for a Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. So, in defense of DC, we want that for Marvel, so
yeah.
I
think it's a little bit different. I think the way Spider-Man stuff is a little bit different, but yeah.
No, the reason this works is because they're labeling everything that isn't under the main DC universe, like the main MCU's, the main DC universe is going to be under DC Elseworlds. That's really cool because Elseworlds is like the DC Comics Marvel What If.
Yep.
Like the most famous one is probably the one where Kal-El's capsule ends in Gotham, and he's raised by the Waynes instead of the Kents, and so Superman grows up to be Batman.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. I really liked What If, so I'm kind of at least they're like at least letting us know like, hey, these movies are still here, but they're explaining how they're connected or not connected. They're kind of respecting us as an audience,
exactly,
by giving us the information, but letting it like knowing we can handle it because we've handled it with Marvel stuff like that.
With Spider-Verse and all those. I mean, we're all excited for Deadpool.
We've seen No Way Home. We're ready for Deadpool, Secret Wars. Like we know.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
So we have the 3 different things or whatever. What kind of Batman is this?
In the DC universe, well, we've gotten so many Batman up until this point. It's so hard to be different. They're all so similar. The variety in the comics is astounding.
I agree.
So for the first time, we're going to be seeing Bruce Wayne as a father.
Damian Wayne,
baby.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. And we're doing a Bat family thing.
Okay.
So we're going to get a grown-up Dick Grayson Nightwing situation.
Oh, yeah, we haven't seen Nightwing, really.
No, other than one of the shows or whatever. And we've seen him animated.
Yeah, but not the movie.
But
yeah.
never live action. So that is pretty cool. A lot of variety. Yeah.
A lot of variety.
Yeah. But it's cool because like it all has a theme. The DCU going forward, it's going to be in chapters instead of like the MCU's phases. Okay. This is chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. It has a theme. And like one of the monsters we're getting a horror movie for the Swamp Thing.
I know nothing about the Swamp Thing, but I like the variety.
Okay, so Swamp Thing's a great character. They had a recent series on him that was actually really, really good. He's been they've tried to do him many, many times. It doesn't matter. I trust them. Peter Safran's roots are in the Conjuring universe. James Wan is already in-house with the Aquaman franchise. As long as they don't get Michael Chavez to do it, I am thrilled. And I'm really going to support this movie. Buy all of the tickets I can for it, because maybe if this movie does well, it will encourage Marvel and, more importantly, Star Wars to do a horror movie.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing more that I want than a freaking rebel ship crashing on a dark, deserted planet, and suddenly the rebels start going missing. Or like a zombie outbreak on a Star Destroyer.
There was a Clone Wars episode like that where they were all trapped
with the worms.
The worms.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that freaked me out as a kid.
Traumatizing.
You had to like make it really, really cold, and then the worm would literally like come out of their freaking.
Yep.
She had to.
Traumatizing.
Yeah,
literally as an 8-year-old. Yep.
Yeah, but I remember it. It was really cool. I want variety like that.
Yes, exactly.
No one really likes Multiverse of Madness all that much, but the reason I give it a little bit more credit is because they were kind of trying something it was a little bit horror-y. And I like that they are at least trying something different. We've gotten so many superhero movies. Give us a little different genres, throw them in there, and I'm for it.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. Something else we've got, speaking of darkness and horror and everything like that, they're even doing something for the Snyder fans that, like the moody characters that hate their lives, that just want to live forever in just a gray, black and white color palette.
Like Red Hood.
No.
Jonah Hex.
No.
Lobo. They're bringing back Jason Momoa.
No. No.
Who?
Supergirl. Hear me out.
You're excited about that?
Hear me out. This is based on the recent Tom King run where she literally watches Krypton die. And then she finds out that like Kal-El is like on Earth. And so she's sent to like protect him. But then she gets there and he's killing it and he's Superman. And so of course he doesn't need any help. So she's like struggling to find her purpose in this world because of all of the Kryptonians she survived and she has no purpose. Gunn was quoted in saying Superman was sent to Earth and raised on a farm by two loving parents. Supergirl was raised on a rock, a chip off of Krypton, who watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life. If that's not Snyder, I don't know what is.
She'll also probably be hot.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
She'll definitely be.
Yeah. Speaking of hot, we have The Authority. James Gunn, that's by far the thing he looks most excited for. He's calling it a passion project. They're like a violent Justice League. They're like the you can't handle the truth guy. Like they're like making decisions that nobody else can because they have the strongest wills. That's kind of their vibe.
Interesting. Oh, will.
Yeah.
That reminds, like Thanos. Like they're making decisions that like are good if you kind of think about it, but if you think about it for like 5 seconds more, you wouldn't just kill half the universe. You would just double the resources with the stones.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's a lot of news. We got Supergirl. We've
Yep.
got Swamp Thing. We've
Yep.
got Batman.
Yep.
We've got Superman. We've got
Yep.
Wonder Woman. No, we don't, because someone's
No,
stupid.
we're getting the mascara, as you would call
the
it.
mascara.
We're also getting a True Detective style Green Lantern series. I'm really excited for that. I just don't know too much about it, and Green Lantern series have been in development hell for forever.
Where are the Martian Manhunter movies? Where are the Green Arrow movies?
We're gonna get that. Like I don't know why you're.
I know. Well,
questioning
like
that.
in MCU, right? We start with Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America. That's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and I don't know, Cyborg. Some Justice League member.
We're starting with Batman and Superman and freaking. We're getting
And Swamp Thing and Supergirl on the chip of a Krypton version of the Passion Project and an Amanda Waller show. I think it's all good. I just have questions. When does all this start exactly? Like, are we getting it now? Like, what's the deal with the movies that are already coming out?
Yeah, so we're still getting Shazam, and then that's in March, and then we're getting Flashpoint a couple months later, and that is going to reset the DC universe.
James Gunn said Flashpoint is the like kicking off point, or
yeah, okay. That because the story in the comics, he saves the day.
Crazy, yeah.
It's great, but he saves the day, and then everything resets.
Yeah, universe changing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're going to be in this universe going forward. So then the next movies, Aquaman 2, Blue Beetle, are going to take place in this universe.
So they're keeping
not the
Aquaman.
previous.
They're keeping Jason Momoa.
Apparently, we're getting a third Aquaman, which is crazy to me.
So we still have Aquaman. We're keeping Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
But maybe not Shazam, not Henry Cavill, not
not
Wonder
Henry
Woman.
Cavill for sure. But
Boo.
no, I'm thrilled.
And then, so Ezra Miller is a psycho.
Ezra Miller, we do not know if Ezra Miller is going to remain on.
But we do.
James Gunn denied to answer that question.
I feel like he can't answer until the Flash movie is out, and then they can be like, yeah, Ezra Miller's.
Probably. I imagine that. I probably.
They would be really stupid to keep Ezra Miller.
I don't know how you can, but apparently it's the greatest movie of all time. Like James Gunn said, it's like one of the best comic book movies he's ever seen, which doesn't surprise me because for them to have not canceled this movie after all the that Ezra Miller they've pulled,
Yeah.
it has to be gold.
Just like your hair.
And Booster.
And Booster Gold. Clink on that, huh? All right, well, we're basically done with the news. We're going to have a little discussion.
Yeah.
So let's just recap. We got Superman.
Yep.
Got Batman Brave and the Bold with Damian Wayne.
Yep.
We're
Thrilled.
skipping all the other Robins for some reason. We have Booster Gold coming. We have Swamp Thing coming. We have, what's the Exterminators? What was it called?
The Authority.
The Authority. We have Amanda Waller. And a bunch of these are TV shows.
Yep.
But the movies are Batman, Superman, Supergirl, and the Swamp Thing horror movie.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good first step?
Yes.
I think it's a good first, half step.
I am in complete allegiance to my new god, James Gunn.
Okay. So let's stop bowing down to him. I am enjoying looking at him rather than you on your shirt.
He's so handsome.
Makes me happy. I'm not saying he can't do it,
Yes.
but
You would be wrong.
I am trepidatious.
Wrong.
Why am I wrong? Hold on. I'm looking something up. You talk for a second.
This is exactly what we wanted. By the way, I have left this large corner of my background empty, I now know what I'm filling it with. It's going to be the poster of this slate. The logos alone for all of these movies. I could not be more excited for any of these projects in my whole entire life. For all my life, DC has been dormant since the Dark Knight trilogy. But as a franchise, DC has been dormant. Everybody, for whatever reason, for the longest time wanted it to be black and gray and this and that. DC comics are the most colorful comics in the world. Okay. I'm so excited.
Okay.
We're getting some color.
Okay. We're getting some color. Great. Here we go. Are you not afraid it's too much color?
No.
Listen. James Gunn has given us two of the greatest, probably top 10 comic book movies of all time.
You're going Guardians 1 and the Suicide Squad.
Correct.
Yeah.
Those were obviously great movies. Guardians is probably potentially top 5, and Suicide Squad is the best DC movie we've gotten, and who knows how long.
Since Dark Knight.
He also gave us Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Peacemaker, which a lot of people like, but is...
You're going to get a lot of hate for that.
I know. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's obviously a very specific kind of show with just whack comedy constantly. And so look at this list. Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy, ragtag team of misfits trying to save the world. That is comedic. Guardians 2, which is another version of that, but worse. Peacemaker, which is another version of that. What else do you give us? Scooby-Doo, the live-action Scooby-Doo movies.
You're telling me those aren't good?
I'm telling you, they are not necessarily indicators of someone who is able to build an entire universe. It's an indicator of someone who is able to do a very particular kind of movie very, very well, and we enjoy it very, very much. But that does not mean that he's the next Kevin Feige or is going to give us the next Infinity Saga of the MCU.
Do you know what Kevin Feige worked on before the MCU?
He worked on X-Men, and he was a production assistant. But the first producer, he was a producer for the entire MCU.
Do you know what he was working on before? Spider-Man 3 and the Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer movies. Are those particularly good movies?
No.
You learn. James Gunn, it's very clear that he has wanted this his whole life. This is clearly what he's been working towards. And him saying he's not going to direct the Superman movie, he's just writing it. He's allocating these jobs to other people. He knows how important that is. He knows how important it is to collaborate. He was early in phase 2 of the MCU. He saw the MCU be built, put together. He is the man for this job. And Peter Safran's pretty good too. Conjuring Universe is really good.
I agree. I feel like the people around you are
collaboration.
If he collaborates and has other people come in, I think my point still stands. I have my hopes. I also have my doubts, but I also have my hopes. I think there is potential here. I think James Gunn can do a great job. I am just not convinced yet that he's the next Kevin Feige and this is the next MCU.
This announcement made Flashpoint my most anticipated movie of the year. It surpassed Spider-Verse with this announcement.
You're getting a little ahead of your skis there.
I could not be more excited for the DC universe. I'm excited to be a DC guy.
I mean, we've all been just waiting and wanting to be DC people. And again, I don't know. I just look at what has been produced by James Gunn so far, and although the majority of it is fun and happy and good, and we all love it, Suicide Squad, Guardians, blah, 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 I don't look at Scooby-Doo live action and Guardians 2 and Peacemaker.
Scooby-Doo live action is a very faithful adaptation. If anything, we should look at Scooby-Doo as such a great example. Those movies are great. You're
out of your mind.
Those movies are great.
You're out of your mind.
And you are simply looking at them like they're kids' movies. Your bias for Scooby-Doo is the same bias that I have for Stranger Things that you think I'm crazy for.
Are you out of your mind? Did you just compare Scooby-Doo to Stranger Things?
I'm sure Scooby-Doo's better. I'm sure
you're out of your mind.
I'm sure
you're out of your mind.
No, I am sure Scooby-Doo's
We're not
better.
even going to talk about how am I supposed to do a podcast with you? It is obviously a extremely over-the-top Scooby and Shaggy burping at each other
but
and
it's a
farting.
Faithful adaptation.
When do Scooby-Doo and Shaggy fart at each other?
It's a faithful adaptation. You are underrating that he has taken source material and made it.
And what does that have anything to do with Stranger Things? Stranger Things has scary parts. It has possession. It has monsters. It has other universes. It doesn't make any sense, and it's also not an adaptation of anything.
You are not understanding why I compared them. I do not like Stranger Things, even though I haven't seen it, because I have a preconceived notion of what I think it is. That is what you are having with Scooby-Doo right now. You're underrating that franchise. Those are good movies. Those are good movies that are good adaptations. We should take those as an example instead of me appreciating.
In what way is it a good adaptation?
It's a great adaptation. The gang is together. Look at Velma. You think Velma's a great adaptation? You compare Velma to the original Scooby-Doo movies? You
Just because the TV show is bad doesn't mean that makes his movies good.
It does make his movies good.
It also doesn't. It's not a good indicator of being able to build an entire universe.
Yes, it is, because it's a good indication that he can take the source material and adapt it well. That's what you need to be for DC. DC has so many great stories on the pages already that just need to be told instead of The Dark Knight Returns 60 different times in the last 10 years.
Just from what I've seen from James Gunn.
Yes.
He gave us some of the greatest comic book movies ever with Suicide Squad and the first Guardians. But he also, which is a very specific kind of movie, but he also gave us, these are all very specific kinds of things. Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes.
Which you agreed was your least favorite MCU movie.
Yes, but a lot of people love that movie. Like, I very well, you could say I'm wrong for having that opinion because other people love that movie. I've seen that movie get 5 stars on Letterboxd. I've seen that movie be at the top of people's MCU lists.
Okay, so you're wrong about The Last Jedi.
How dare you bring up what a film? Why?
I am following your logic. You just said that if the majority of people like a movie, but you don't, you're wrong. Flip that on its head. Everybody hates The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi is the silent minority. It's the loud minority. You're wrong. You're wrong. That movie did great with critics, and it made a shit ton of money. So you're wrong about that too.
You're wrong.
No. The Last Jedi is a freaking film. It's a film and a half. It has its problems, but it's great. Guardians 2, all the issues have to do with Marvel.
You're saying to me that your least favorite Marvel movie is your least favorite MCU movie. The same guy is going to give us the best DC movies
But it
universe?
also has brilliant moments. How about the scene where Drax is just sitting down and Mantis comes to touch him? And she feels his pain, and she feels all the gargantuan pain that he is under, and just starts bawling, just starts crying, and he's just sitting there, is one of the most brilliant scenes in the MCU.
Guardians 2 has a lot of great moments. I think the stuff with Star-Lord and Yondu is also really good, and some stuff with Drax is really, really good.
So I do not have a dad. So that doesn't... That doesn't do it for me, right? So you just said that's great. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's funny that he's Mary Poppins, but that's because I don't have a dad. I'm tired of it. I didn't have a Yondu to adopt me. So I'm just frustrated with my own trauma during that movie. So maybe it's on me that I don't like that movie, and I'm wrong.
I am not saying I have my hopes. Okay, look, I have my hopes. Mm-hmm. I also have my doubts, just because from my own personal experience, from what I have seen from James Gunn, the clips that I have seen from Scooby-Doo, of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo burping and farting at each other, and just this over-the-top, ridiculous
It's a great
kids
adaptation,
movie.
But, you know, whatever.
Not a great adaptation.
It's a great adaptation, and that's why I brought it up. Because if he is able to adapt from the animated screen or the Scooby-Doo comics and make something as great as the Scooby-Doo movies...
Listen.
Then he could do that with DC.
Are you done?
Go.
From what I have seen from the Scooby-Doo movies, I understand they're beloved because people grew up on them. But as an adult looking at it, as a mature human being with brain cells to rub together, from what I have seen from Scooby-Doo, the movies, absolutely not. It's not a great adaptation. Oh my gosh, it's a great adaptation.
Hence my argument for the prequels.
The Scooby-Doo movies. Add on top of that the Peacemaker show, which I'm not saying is bad. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it with my bros. I can't imagine enjoying it as much by myself with the F-bombs and sex jokes literally every 3 seconds.
You're going to get some hate for that opinion.
I understand. And then Guardians
love that
2,
show.
which we both agree is a bottom barrel MCU movie. And then even the good ones he's done, even the ones that we both agree are really, really good and we love James Gunn for, even those are better than the ones I just mentioned, but are still a particular kind of movie. So from what I have seen from James Gunn is the good and the pretty bad, but also the pretty good of one type of genre of comic book movie, which is heavily comedic, ragtag team of heroes / villains trying to do some good. That does not automatically insert into my brain, oh, he can give us a whole universe. I'm not saying he can't. It's just raising some questions.
Okay, so you're just saying you're having trouble imagining that translate because he can't do the Guardians of the Galaxy formula that you're saying he has
With everything.
with Batman
You
and
can't-
his murderous son.
You can't make a Suicide, Peacemaker, Scooby-Doo, Guardians movie with every character in DC. And you said, like, maybe he will collaborate and I don't like that word.
Why?
I can't believe I just said it. Can we cut it out?
Allocate is a
Stop
perfectly
saying-
fine word.
No, I don't like it.
Allocate.
No, I don't like it.
Allocate.
Stop it.
I would like to allocate
Oh,
this word to you.
gross!
Why?
My mom is an accountant and she says it a lot and I don't like it. Just say, put the money somewhere. Don't say,
Let's just allocate the money somewhere.
it's the A word.
You've been allocated.
Stop it. That's gross.
We could allocate.
I only said the A word because you said it earlier and I was quoting you. Let me just make that clear. I didn't say it of my own free will.
You allocate business of the podcast all the time to
I'm
me.
going to throw up. Can we move on? You
Allocate.
said, God, so you have faith in James Gunn.
Yes.
I have hope. I want to wait and see.
So,
Why are you so excited?
I'm going to end this with a point that, look, I'm not accusing you of not being a DC fan. But I think that 99% of hardcore DC fans and 90, maybe to 100% of casual DC fans, I'm more on the casual side. I've read a ton of the books, but I'm not going to pretend to know all the lore. Are everybody that saw this announcement probably had their dicks hard. The entire video.
The announcement without Wonder Woman, the announcement without Green Arrow, the announcement without Martian
I have to
Manhunter,
tell you
without
one thing.
Cyborg, without...
From the moment he starts talking, and the first
I do need to watch the video.
the first thing he mentions
Yep.
is the Superman Legacy movie.
Great.
And first of all, the logo is orgasm inducing. It is so classic Superman. It's the bright red. It's brilliant. But the picture that they are constantly showing every single time you talk about this Superman movie is him sitting on a cloud with a smile on his face.
Oh, I'm in.
He gets it.
I'm in. Oh, yeah, I'm in.
James Gunn, James Gunn, James Gunn, James Gunn.